ॐ वक्रतुण्डमहाकाय सूर्यकोटिसमप्रभ निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा। सरस्वती नमस्तुभ्यं वरदे कामरूपिणी विद्यारम्भं करिष्यामि सिद्धिर्भवतु मे सदा। गुरवे सर्वलोकानां विषजे भवरोगिणां निधये सर्वविद्यानां दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतो वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करम्। साक्षात्कृतं दयानन्दं परमार्थस्वरूपिणं तत्त्वज्ञानप्रशास्तारं प्रणतोऽस्मि परं पदम्। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। नत्वा श्रीभारती तीर्थ
नत्वा
श्रीभारतीतीर्थ
विद्यारण्यमुनीश्वरौ
विद्यारण्यमुनीश्वरौ
अधीमहे पञ्चदशीम्
अधीमहे पञ्चदशीम्
कैवल्यपदसिद्धये
कैवल्यपदसिद्धये।
तत्त्वविवेकप्रकरणम् श्लोका नंबर 34। स्यात् पञ्चीकृतभूतोत्थः
पंचीकृतभूतोत्तरः
देहस्थूलो न संज्ञकः
देहस्थूलो न संज्ञकः
लिङ्गे तु राजसैः प्राणैः
लिङ्गे तु राजसैः प्राणैः
प्राणः कर्मेन्द्रियैः सह
प्राणकर्मेन्द्रियैः सह।
Is a disturbance in my audio?
No, Ji.
No, Guru.
In your chanting, there are disturbances. सात्विकैर्धीन्द्रियैः साकम्
सात्विकैर्धीन्द्रियैः साकम्
Vimarshatma Manomayah.
विमर्शात्मा मनोमयः
Taireva sakam vijnana
तैरेव साकं विज्ञाय मयोधिरिष्टात्मिका
In these two shlokas, the author has presented the koshas. Among the Panchakosha, Annamaya Kosha, Pranamaya Kosha, Manomaya Kosha, Vijnanamaya Kosha. This is Kosha Viveka, the topic has started. So he has defined what is this, what are these koshas. Annamaya Kosha. By the very word Annam, Adyate, Atti, Adyate, Iti Annam, that which is consumed, that is Annam. So Annam. Annam is the Srishti Karanam, Sthiti Karanam, Laya Karanam, Annam. So that Annam alone undergoes modification, becomes this Kosha. Koshavat Achadakatvat Atmanam Annamaya Koshaha. Because of Aviveka, we take Annamaya Kosha to be, I take Annamaya Kosha to be myself. So everyone takes Anna Kosha to be oneself. Yeah, Avimana, Tadatmya, Baba. If anything happens to this Kosha, Annamaya Kosha, then it happens to me. I feel hurt, I feel joy, I feel happy. The experience or my experience. Experiences which are through the Annamaya Kosha are my experiences. Whatever may be the experiences. Sukhanubhava, Dukkha Anubhava. Similarly, Prana, that is also Kosha, Pranamaya Kosha. That is another Kosha, covers the Atma as though Koshavat Achadakatvat Atmanam Pranamaya Kosha. So Pranamaya Kosha is Pancha Prana, then Pancha Karmendriyani. Rajasai Pranahi Karmendriyahi Saha. This together, the 10 put together becomes Pranamaya Kosha. And we know Mayat is Vikararte. It undergoes modification. Mayat Pratyaya is Vikararte. So therefore, Vikara is change. That which has undergone change, modification, and becomes as though a kosha covering the Atma. That is a Pratyaya, Mayat Pratyaya. So therefore, by simple logic, Viveka, we can separate this. That is what the author is going to do. But discerning the Atma as different from these koshas, Panchakosha or Shariratrayam. That is called Viveka, Tattva Viveka. By that Viveka, we are going to arrive at the Tattvam, the truth. So to arrive at this, we should know what are these koshas. So Annamaya, Manomaya, then Vijnanamaya. Vijnanamaya is Buddhindriya, Buddhi, that is Jnanendriya, Dindriyani, Buddhindriyani. Buddhindriyani, Buddhi plus Jnanendriyani, that becomes the Vijnanamaya kosha. Dindriyahi Sakam. The is Buddhi. Dihi, then Indriyani. That becomes Vijnanamaya kosha. Manomaya kosha is Manomaya kosha is manaha. Manaha plus jnanendriyani. Manaha plus jnanendriyani. Manomaya kosha, which is of the nature of vimarshatma, that is samshayatmakam manaha, and nischayatmika buddhihi, that is dheendriyani, that is jnanendriyani plus buddhi, that constitute vijnanamaya kosha. So pranamaya kosha has 10 constituents, and manomaya kosha and vijnanamaya kosha each has got 6. So 4 koshas are covered: Annamaya, Pranamaya, Manomaya, Vijnanamaya. And Annamaya covers the Stula Shariram. The same thing, the same 3 Shariram alone is looked upon as 5 kosha. So among the 5 kosha, Annamaya kosha stands for Stula Shariram. And these 3 kosha, Pranamaya, Manomaya, Vijnanamaya kosha, it covers Sukshma Shariram. Because all the constituents of this Sukshma Shariram alone makes this kosha. So Sukshma Shariram alone is looked upon as these 3 koshas: Prana, Mana, and Vijnanamaya. Iti. What is left out is Anandamaya kosha. And what Shariram is left out is Karna Shariram. Therefore, Karna Shariram, otherwise called Avidya, that is looked upon as a kosha, koshavat achadikatvat, anandamaya kosha. Why it is called Ananda? That is what the author is going to say. And here we have to recall what we have seen in Tattva Bodha. We have seen Tattva Bodha elaborately. So Anandamaya kosha is something to be understood very clearly. Anandamaya kosha, Karna Shariram. We will see that. That is what the author is going to say in the next shloka 36. We will read that. Shloka number 36. Karane sattvamananda mayo modadivrittibihi.
Karane sattvamanam mayo modadivrittibihi.
Tattat koshaistu tadhatmya
Koshastu tatmat
atma tattanmayo bhavet.
atma tattvanmayo bhavet.
I don't know, your voice is breaking, but my voice I'm not sure. It's fine. Okay. When you chant, your voice is not clear. It's breaking. Some of your voice, I don't know. It's my audio is clear, right?
Yes, Sharanji.
Okay. There is some problem. Okay, now here. Karane sattvamananda mayo modadi vrittibihi tat koshaistu tadhatmyat panchami tadhatmyat atma tattanmayo bhavet. Karane sattvam modadi vrittibihi anandamayaha syat atma tu tattat koshehi tadhatmyat tattan mayo bhavet. Atma identified with each of the kosha becomes that kosha. Atma identified means not that Atma identifies. That is, that identification, that abhimana, that is the tadatmya. That is a mistake. That is the error. That is the error. So we use the word identification. Or Atma identification, Atma identifies means not that Atma identifies literally. There is a mix-up. There is a mix-up. When Atma is looked upon as associated with each of the kosha, that is better. If identification the word is problem, then we can use the word as associated with. In fact, that is also a problem. Atma is Chaitanyam. And these koshas are anatma. Atma, anatma. Atma cannot have any association. It is asangaha atma. Atma is asangaha. Atma doesn't have any doesn't have any sangha. It cannot have any sangha because it is not a limited thing which can have associate. That which is limited, that only can have association. That only can associate. A limited thing can associate with another limited thing. Even the relatively unlimited thing, akasha. What association akasha has with the vayu? Akasha meaning space. Space, the vayu is there in the space. The vayu, the air is polluted. What about akasha? Akasha is not polluted. Akasha remains asangaha. Even the akasha, one of the pancha mahabhuta, which is a karya, which is a product, created one, that itself not tainted by the vayu, then what to talk about the atma, which is not a karya, not a product, which is the karanam, sarvasya karanam. Therefore, identified means not literally identified, it is as though associated with. When looked upon as associated with each of the kosha, becomes that kosha. So therefore, atma, when looked upon as associated with annashariram, is called annamaya kosha. Atma is annamaya kosha. It becomes that kosha. Koshavat. Tattan mayo bhavet. That is what tat mayo bhavet. Associated. As associated with each of the kosha becomes that kosha. Therefore, only we say annamaya kosha is atma. But atma is not annamaya kosha. Similarly, atma as though associated with pranamaya, as though associated with manomaya, as though associated with jnanamaya, becomes that kosha. Therefore, pranamaya kosha is atma, but atma is not pranamaya kosha. Manomaya kosha is atma, but atma is not manomaya kosha. Vijnanamaya kosha is atma, but atma is not vijnanamaya kosha. So all the koshas are atma, but atma is not any one of them. So it means atma is vilakshanaha. Panchakoshat, panchakoshebhyaha vilakshanaha atma. As we saw the definition in Tattvabodha, atma kaha stula sukshma karana sharirat vitiriktaha avastatraya sakshi panchakoshebhyaha vilakshanaha. That is atma. It is different. So annamaya kosha cannot exist without atma. Minus atma, annamaya kosha cannot exist. Annamaya kosha is because atma is. That is what we are going to say later. That is the logic is that anmaya vitireka. We will see that. Now here we are talking about anandamaya kosha, otherwise called karana shariram. It is good to recollect what we have seen in Tattvabodha. The definition of anandamaya kosha. I'll open that Tattvabodha file. You can recall that definition of anandamaya kosha. Anandamaya kaha. Anandamaya kaha. Evam eva karana sharira bhuta avidhyastha malinasatvam priyadivritti sahitam sat anandamaya kosha. This is the definition according to Tattvabodha. Panchadashikara says, Karane Satpamanandamayo Modadi Vrittibihi. That is what Priya Modadi Vrittibhigi. Same, there is no change in the definition. Now let us see what is this Anandamaya Kosha. Anandamaya Kosha is avidya, it is Karana Shariram. Anandamaya Kosha is avidya, it is Karana Shariram. The author in the Tattvabodha, he gives a definition, it's a technical definition based on the Sushupti Anubhava, based on the experience of sleep, Sushupti Anubhava. In Sushupti, everyone has two types of experiences. Experience of ignorance of everything, including oneself. Agam kimapi na janami. The person, the sleeper, he doesn't know anything. There is complete ignorance, including ignorance of oneself. So complete ignorance, including ignorance of oneself. That is one experience. Agam kimapi na janami. Then he also doesn't know that he is sleeping happily. In the sleep, he doesn't know. If he knows, then it is not a sleep. So therefore, ignorance means complete ignorance, including self-ignorance. Even the person may be a great Pandita. That person also doesn't remember anything. Whatever the knowledge he has, education he had gained, memorized, mastered all the Shastra, but he also would not remember anything in sleep. And the second Anubhava is, I slept happily. Maya Sukhena Nidra Anubhuyate. I slept happily. I had a very nice sleep. There is that Sukham, which is experienced in sleep, which is experienced in sleep, but it is not recalled in sleep. It is recalled only after waking up. The person experiences Sukham that he recalls after waking up. There was experience of Ananda in Sushupti. That Ananda, so when we say Ananda, then we have to understand the three gunas, three qualities. We say the three sattva, rajas, tamas. The three types of guna. In fact, these gunas are not properties or qualities. These are highly technical words. This should not be, guna, the word should not be translated. Should not be translated as sattva guna, as qualities. Sattva guna, rajoguna, tamoguna, they are not the qualities. They are not the qualities, they are not the attributes. We say tamoguna. Tamoguna means it stands for inertia. It stands for inertia, it stands for slothfulness, dullness. When dullness is there, when sleepiness is there, slothfulness is there, then we say it is tamoguna. When a person is overpowered by laziness, inertia, slothfulness, then we say that this tamoguna. The person is overpowered by tamoguna. Similarly, when the person is highly active, extremely active, agitated, activity, then we say tamoguna. It is rajoguna, rajas activity. Then sattvaguna. Sattvaguna is, we say that a sattvaguna where knowledge is, happiness is, where the person is neither sleeping nor active. There he has knowledge and happiness. That is sattvaguna. So every human being is subject to these three types of gunas invariably. It is subject to these three types of guna. In a day, all the three gunas comes at different times. In the night, when you go to sleep, Tamoguna dominates. When you wake up, Sattva-guna, and when you get into your work, then Rajoguna. So these three gunas, they come for the same person at different times in a day. Sometimes Sattva dominated by Tamas. Sometimes Tamas is dominated by Rajas. So there will be domination of gunas. So whichever guna dominates in the person, that determines the character, that determines the habit of the person. Fine. So when sattva is dominant, then the person is happy. So if the person is happy, then we can assume sattva is predominant in the person. In the Gita, the Bhagavad Gita, the 14th chapter of the Gita, the whole chapter is devoted to this Gunatraya Vibhaga, the threefold gunas. There it is talked about what will happen, what happens when a particular guna is predominant. What happens with the person, or what does he exhibit when a particular guna predominates. Gita talks about three types of food, annam. Sattvika, Rajasika, Tamasika. With regard to eating, with regard to food, what is consumed, there are three types. With regard to what you give dhanam, three types. With regard to the worship, three types of worship. It's all based on the dominance of the guna. In the Gita, Bhagavan Krishna says, Jnanam sattve, jnanam sukhe, sattve sukhe sanjayati, rajak karmani bharata, jnanam avrityatu tamaha, pramade sanjayatyata. Rajas tamaschabhibhuya sattvam bhavati bharata, rajas sattvam tamascheva, tamas sattvam rajastata. That is sattva, which is in the form of pleasure, and rajas in the form of activity, tamas in the form of covering the knowledge. So the sattva overwhelming rajas, and tamas and rajas overwhelming tamas, and all these are possibilities. All these are the different possibilities. And sattvat sanjayate jnanam, rajaso lobha evacha, pramada mohu tamasaha bhavato ajnanam evacha iti. From sattva is born knowledge. That is why we say when knowledge is there, when you are doing some mathematical puzzle, solving a mathematical problem, or when you are studying Panini, your sattva is dominant. So when sattva is there, when knowledge is there, so we can presume sattva guna is dominant. So from sattva is born knowledge. Sattvat sanjayate jnanam. Sattvat sanjayate jnanam. That is why antakaranam also it is called sattva, because knowledge is born in the antakaranam. The word sattva sometimes it is used to mean antakaranam. And from rajas is born lobha, the greed, and pramada moho, negligence and delusion of tamas. These are of tamas. So these are the three different gunas. So this is with regard to what we consume, what we give dhanam, that is sattvika dhanam, rajasika dhanam, tamasika dhanam. Similarly, with regard to your Ishtadevata puja, that is also different types of puja. Sattvika puja, Rajasika puja, Tamasika puja. In Rajasika puja, there will be the offering of bali, etc. In Sattvika puja, the puja is highly sattvic, no imsa. So, depending on the worship, depending on the dhanam, the results will vary. So therefore, in all the All these things is sattva, rajas, tama will be there depending on your attitudes. So therefore, each guna is responsible for giving a type of experience. So with this sattva, rajas, tama, with this we can explain the differences in the experiences of the people. If you ask that, is there any pure sattva? No, there is no pure sattva in the Srishti. Pure sattva doesn't exist. If you remember, that is why we use the word malina sattva, sattva tainted, sattva inhibited by the various degrees of tamas and rajas. The happiness what you experience in the world, or even the happiness what you experience in the Sushupti, that is what the author is saying here. It is going to be inhibited. It is going to be inhibited. It is an obstructed only because pure sattva doesn't exist. Sattva will be there, but either it is mixed up with rajas or mixed up with tamas. In the waking state, it is mixed up with rajas. In the sleeping state, sushupti, it is mixed up with tamas. How do you know tamas is that? That is why you say, agam kimapi na janami, I don't know anything. It is tamas. You don't know anything, ignorance. So, therefore, there are different degrees of happiness due to this malina sattvam. And that is what is obtained in this Annamaya Kosha. So if you see the definition of Tattva Bodha, Karana Sharira Bhuta Avidhyasta Malina Sattvam. Karana Shariram. Karana Shariram as the name Avidya, another name Avidya. This is individual Karana Shariram, Yashti Karana Shariram. Not the Shariram, Karana Shariram of Ishvara. The Karana Shariram of Ishvara is Maya. It is Maya, that is not Avidya. Here we are talking about the individual. Avidyastam tishtati iti avidya. Avidyayam tishtati iti avidyastam. Avidya is Karana Shariram. Therefore, Karana Sharire tishtati. The Malina Sattvam, which is obtained in the Karana Shariram. Malina, when we say here, the Karana Shariram, it refers to tamas. That is combination of sattva and tamas. Sattva is there, but tamas is dominant. All the three gunas are in different proportions. In the sleep, in the Sushupti Avastha, where the Sukshma, where this Annamaya Kosha is not experienced, and Sukshma Sharira resolves. So only Karana Shariram is obtained, and that has got the name Avidya. So there, Sattva is experienced, overpowered by Tamas. That is why when a person is sleeping in Sushupti Avastha, there is some Sukham. Maya Sukhen Nidra Anubhuyate, he experiences Sukham, as well as ignorance. Agam Kimapi na Janami. So, therefore, the person says, I slept happily. When he says happily, happy is the guna. What guna? What type of guna? It is sattva guna. Sattva guna can be inferred because of the experience of sleep. Sattva guna is there. It is in some measure. Some measure it is there. If sattva guna is there, knowledge also must be there. There must be knowledge. If sattva is there, there must be knowledge also. But what happens in the sleep? The knowledge is not there. If knowledge is there, then it is not sleep. Then it becomes a waking state. Knowledge is not there because sattvam is overpowered by tamoguna. Therefore, it is sattva dominated by tamoguna. This is what is there in sleep. So, sattva is covered partly, not completely. Sattva is there. That is why Sukhanubhava is there. Therefore, sattva covered by tamoguna. Therefore, knowledge also not there. Only sattva is happiness and complete ignorance. So, therefore, the sleep, Sushupti Avastha is a mixture. It's a mixture of this Sattva, which is Malina Sattva, meaning Sattva and Tamas. Sattvam contributes for the Sukhanubhava and Tamas contributes for the Ajnana part. Agam kimapi na janami ajnanam. Suppose if Tamas were not there, then what will happen? Then the person in the sleep, suppose if Tamas is not there, only Sattva is there, then it is not sleep, it is meditation. He is in Samadhi. He is happy and he knows himself. It becomes meditation. But in Sushupti Avastha, we know knowledge is not there. Therefore, the Sattva is tainted. The Sattva is sullied, overpowered by Tamas. So, Sattvam overpowered by Tamoguna is called Malina Sattva. Already Malina Sattva, the word we have seen. Now, Priyadi Vritti Sagitam. This Malina Sattvam, which is endowed with this three vritti, three types of vritti, Priyadi, Priya, Moda, Pramoda. Those are the three types of vritti. What is that Priya, Moda, Pramoda? You have to recall again, Tattva-bodha. Priyadi vritti sagitam, author says here, Modadi vritti, the author says, same thing, there is no difference. What is Priya vritti? What is Moda vritti? What is Pramoda vritti? Priya, Moda, Pramoda. Darshana, Ishta Darshana Janyam Sukham is Priyaha. That is, you see a thing which you like, which is desired by you. You see a thing or a person you like, then there is some sukha, some pleasure. Ishta Darshana Sukham, Ishta Darshana Janya Sukham, that is called Priyaha. The sukha, the pleasure which is born because of the darshanam of the desired thing. Ishta Darshana Janyam Sukham Priyaha. But you don't stop with that. You want to experience that. You want to hone it. You want to acquire it. Then that is also a pleasure, another pleasure. That is in terms of degree, it is the pleasure in terms of degree, it is greater. Grahana Janyam Sukham. Grahana Janyam Sukham is called Modaha. But after Grahanam, what Grahanam? Grahana is Ishta. Ishta Grahana Janya Sukham is Modaha. Accomplishing the desired thing or objects or person, whatever may be, the Sukham born out of that is called Moda. Then after that, you don't stop with that. You want to experience that. Ishta Anubhavajanyam Sukham, that is called Pramodaha. Pramodaha. So these are the three types, three words. Priya, Moda, Pramoda. All these words pointing to the degrees of Ananda. This we loosely translate as pleasure, happiness, and joy. We don't translate it bliss. The word bliss, it is used. We don't use the word bliss. It is used only with regard to the Ananda of the Atma, Satchit Ananda. We say that only the Ananda, bliss, capital B. Anyway, we don't use that word also. These are all experiential pleasure. Whereas Ananda of Atma is not experience, it's not experiential. The Priya, Moda, Pramoda are experiential. Ananda is Swarupa. Swarupa Ananda. It is not an experience. It is not an experiential Ananda. It is not a Vishayananda. It is Swarupa Ananda. So that Ananda, don't bring it here, that is different. So these are the three types of, the three degrees of Ananda. So when this Ananda, when these degrees of Ananda is there, from that we can infer there is Sattva. Sattva is there. Now this, when do you experience, when do you have such experiences? In the waking state as well as in the Sushupti Avastha. In the waking state, if you see something which is desirable to you, the seeing itself gives you Sukham. The seeing itself gives you Sukham, that is Priya. For example, if you like a particular any dish, you see that, then you get Priya Ananda, Priya, the pleasure, the Ananda, the happiness, what you experience, that is called Priya. You like Rasagulla, suppose. Seeing Rasagulla, seeing the picture of Rasagulla gives you some Ananda, Darshana, Janya, Sukham. Now you can buy it. Go to the shop, buy it. That is Grahana Janya Sukham, that is Moda. Now you have got the Rasagulla, you have bought Grahana Janya Sukham, but still you have not consumed it. That Rasagulla has not become one with you. There is no fusion happened yet, subject-object fusion. When it happens, that is called Anubhava, that is experience. Anubhava Janya Sukham, that is Pramoda. So these three degrees of happiness is our experience in the waking world. It is our experience. This is a vritti vishesha. Vritti vishesha, the condition of the mind, when the sattva guna is predominant. As these three gunas, as the 3 degrees of happiness, what we experience because of the sattva guna in the waking state, the same three, it is there with reference to. It is there with reference to sleep also. In sleep also, we have these 3 degrees of Ananda. 3 degrees of Ananda. Based on the degree of the inhibition, the impurity, that Ananda differs. How do you say so? Suppose there are 3 persons sleeping in a room. If you switch on the light, one person will get up. The moment you switch on the light, that person is very sensitive, he will get up. The other 2 will not get up. They are not bothered, they are not disturbed. That sleep is not inhibited. Now, if you walk around, that may disturb the another person, second person, he may get up. The third person may get up only when you talk. So there are degrees in the 3 persons. And there may be other people also sleeping in the room. Even if you put a bomb, they will not get up. Sound asleep, any disturbance, even if you hit them, there are people who will not get up. So these are the different degrees which is obtained in the sleep. The sleep also, there is, in the depth of the sleep also, there is variation. And therefore, the degree of Ananda also varies. The person who just gets up when the light is switched on, the person is so sensitive, the happiness is less. The person who sleeps, even when a bomb is put, that person enjoys sound sleep. So there is a there is a varying degree of this sattva. Therefore, based on the degree of this sattva, what sattva? Marina sattva, the Ananda experience in sleep varies. So as we experience these 3 varying degrees of happiness in the waking state, similarly, in sleep also, because of the Marina sattva, the sattva inhibited by tamas, there are varying degrees of happiness. And that is called Priya, Moda, Pramoda, Modadi Vrittibihi. Modadi Vrittibihi. So Priya, Moda, Pramoda, these are the vrittis, the conditions of the mind, which is inhibited by the varying degrees of inhibitions. Varying degrees of happiness because of the varying degrees of inhibitions. Then in the sleep, there is Karana Shariram, Avidya, I told. The individuality is resolved in sleep. Therefore, the problems associated with the individual also, it is resolved. That is why in deep sleep, Sushupti, everybody is happy. The problems are not experienced. That is why people want to go to sleep. If problems are there, sleep will not come. If the person goes to sleep, problems are not there. Whatever may be the problem, all the problems are resolved in Sushupti Anubhava. That is why people, they want to go to sleep, that state. So, the individuality in the waking state, in the Jagrat Avastha, that causes problem. Why? Because there I am separate from everything else. I am the subject and there are many objects which I have to deal with. That individuality is resolved in Sushupti Avastha. It goes into unmanifest state. In the Jagrat Avastha, it is manifest. In the Sushupti Avastha, it is unmanifest. Like the seed, like the tree within a seed. In the seed, there is a tree. In what state? It is unmanifest state. In the seed, there is a tree which is an unmanifest state. Similarly, all the knowledge, all the ignorance, including self-ignorance, all these are in unmanifest condition in sleep. Therefore, only he says, I don't know anything, I don't know myself, including myself. There is complete absence of individuality. Therefore, absence of dukkham also. Absence of dukkham. There is an experience of absence of dukkham. There is an experience of absence of dukkham. In the Jagrata Avastha, there is experience of dukkham. In the Sushupti Avastha, that is not the absence of dukkham. That is what we say Ananda in Sushupti Avastha. That is what we say Ananda. Absence of dukkham is Ananda. In fact, that is not really Ananda, complete Ananda. The real Ananda is Swarupananda. That is of Atma. That is the nature of Atma. In Sushupti, there is no dukkham. Therefore, we say Ananda. Therefore, we experience, or we label our experience as Ananda Sukhanubhava iti. Because dukkham not there. When you wake up, all the problems, again, they stick to you. So therefore, this Anandasya Vikaraha, this is the Anandasya Vikara. Vikara is modification, referring to the degrees of Ananda. The Priya Moda, Pramoda, Vrittivihi, referring to the degrees of Ananda. This Ananda, Priya Moda, not only in the waking or dreaming, in sleep also, this Anandasya Vikaraha. The Ananda is this experiential Ananda. What about the Ananda of Atma? That doesn't change. That is Swarupananda. So this Ananda, experiential Ananda, which is because of the dominance of the Sattva Guna. Dominance of Sattva Guna is, that is not knowledge is dominated. That Sukha part of Sattva is seen. It is, in fact, it is not pure Sattva. As I told, it is Malina Sattva, where Tamas is dominated, Sattva is little experienced. So that seems to be as though it is pure Sattva. It is not pure Sattva. Pure Sattva is not there at all. Pure Sattva is only for Bhagavan. Pure Sattva, therefore, it is Malina Sattva. So it is not even, by mistake I told dominated, Sattva dominates. It's not Sattva domination, it is Tamas domination. Tamas domination, Sattva dominated by Tamas. And because there is only two, Sattva and Tamas dominates Sattva, therefore Sattvam becomes Malina Sattvam. And because of this Malina Sattvam, even when we say Malina Sattvam, we don't use the word, we don't describe by using the word Tamas. We describe by saying Sattva. That is what I meant. That is, Sattva is there. A little bit of Sattva is there. Therefore, only there is Ananda. Therefore, there is only Ananda. There is no knowledge. In Sushupti, there is no knowledge. And that is what we say, Anandamaya Vikaraha, because of the 3 degrees of happiness, because of these varieties of the degrees of the happiness, Priyamoda, Pramoda, there is a Vikara there is a change in the degrees of happiness experienced by you. because there is a vikara, mayat, therefore anandamayat, anandamaya koshaha. Koshavat achadakatva. This three varying degrees of happiness as though covers the Atma, and you associate yourself with the experience of these three so intimately, so closely, forgetting one's swarupa, therefore it becomes Anandamaya Koshaha. And in Taittiriya Upanishad, it is said, in Taittiriya Upanishad, Tasya Priyameva Shiraha, Modo Dakshinah Pakshaha, Pramoda Uttarah Pakshaha, Ananda Atma. Ananda Atma is not Anandamaya, Sharira is Atma. In Brahma Sutra, there is a separate Prakaranam, Ananda Mayadi Prakaranam. There it is discussed. In Taittiriya Upanishad, Ananda Atma is said. This Anandamaya Kosha is Atma. Is it Anandamaya Kosha is Atma? No. Anandamaya Kosha is not Atma. Ananda of Atma is Swarupananda. This Anandamaya Kosha, where there are the varying degrees of happiness, it is later shined by this Atma, illumined by this Atma. So, illumined by the Atma. Here, in fact, this is also because everything is because of Atma. The experience, the degrees of happiness, the happiness Sukhanubhava, it is also manifested by or revealed in Karma Shariram by Atma only. Atma alone manifest. Atma manifest in Karma Shariram. It is manifest in Karma Shariram, and it is not stifled by tamas or rajas, and that is experienced as Ananda. So therefore, Anandamaya Koshaha. Anandamaya Kosha is Atma, but Atma is not Anandamaya Koshaha. So this Anandamaya Kosha covers the Atma. Therefore, Atma is there. And the Swarupam of Atma is Ananda. That is not completely, it is not experienceable because it is Swarupa. So that experience that Ananda Anubhava, Sukha Anubhava, what you experience, it is because of this Sattva overpowered by this Tamas. And that is in the form of Priyamoda, Pramoda Vrittibihi, iti. So, therefore, because of the inhibiting factors, which are in different degrees, Ananda experienced also differs. And that is what the author says. With regard to the Karana Shariram, Anandamaya Kosha is Avidya, that is Karana Shariram. Karana Sharire Sattvam. In the Karana Sharira, Avidya, Modadi Vrittibihi Saha, Anandamayaha Syat. Where is Sattvam in Karana Shariram? Sattva, Avidya, in which Sattva is there. Karane Sattvam. It has Tamas predominantly, but Sattva and Rajas, they are there. In Sushupti, Rajas is not there, only Tamas. Therefore, Ananda, which is due to the little bit of Sattva Guna. This Sattva is experienced in various vritti. Different degrees of Ananda are there in sleep as it is there in the Sushupti Avastha. Therefore, different types of Ananda. So this Ananda, don't confuse with the Swarupananda, that is different. The Swarupananda doesn't require anything for its manifestation because it is self-evident, self-shining. Fine. Therefore, Priyamoda, Pramoda are the degrees of happiness which are there both in the waking as well as in the Sushupti Avastha. So, therefore, this Ananda, it is experienced after waking up. These three types of Ananda, as it is there in the sleep. In the sleep, it is not recognized. It is recognized after waking up. So, therefore, the author says here, Karane That is Karana is avidyayam. Karana sharira bhutayam avidyayam. Sattvam. What type of sattvam? Malina sattvam. Here sattvam anandamayaha is. So this may lead to confusion. What is sattvam? So how can sattvam be alone, separately? Not possible. No gunas exist independent of other gunas. So sattvam is here malina sattvam. So sattvam to be understood as malina sattvam. So avidyayam malina sattvam. In the avidya, that is the karana shariram, that is malina sattvam. Sattvam dominated by tamas. Modadi vrittibihi, priya moda pramodadibihi. Priya moda pramodadibihi vrittibihi. Vrittibihi means vritti, the thoughts. The thoughts of the mind. That is the mind which is conditioned by the three different degrees of happiness. And that is called Anandamayaha, Priyamodadi Vrittibihi. Priyamodadi Vrittibihi Karane Sattvam Anandamaya Koshaha, Anandamayaha Bhavati. That becomes Anandamaya Kosha. So, therefore, the Sattva, the Marina Sattva, which is obtained in the Karana Shariram, which is avidya, becomes Anandamaya Koshaha. Becomes Anandamayaha. Anandamaya referring to the experience which are obtained in the avidya avastha, that is Sushupti avastha in the Karna Shariram. And that is not experienced in Sushupti avastha, it is recalled after waking up. So therefore, Tattat Koshaihi with reference to those koshas, Tattat Kosha, referring to Annamaya, Pranamaya, Manomaya, Vijnanamaya, and Anandamaya, Tattat Koshaihi to Tadatmyat, because of Tadatmya. Tadatmya is the oneness, identification, Abhimana with respective koshas, Atma Tatatanmayo Bhavet. Atma becomes that kosha because of the Abhimana, because of the association. Association is not real association, it is as though association. It is Tadatmya Adhyasa. The oneness is not real oneness, it is as though one. Because Atma and Anatma really cannot mix. That Chit Jada Granthi is not possible. That which is impossible is seen to be possible. That is the Vibhuti. That is the Mahima of the Ishvara. So that is called Tadatmya Adhyasa. There are different types of Adhyasa. Samsarga Adhyasa, Tadatmya Adhyasa. Adhyasa is a very big topic. In the Brahma Sutra, the Shankaracharya, he begins the Brahma Sutra by commenting on this Adhyasa Bhashyam. It's an excellent Bhashyam. Adhyasa means superimposition. Samsarga Adhyasa means borrowing the attributes of another. That is called Samsarga Adhyasa. These koshas are Anatma. These koshas are Jada. Atma is Chaitanyam. It is consciousness. This koshas borrows the Chaitanyam, the consciousness, as though from Atma. Therefore, it looks as though sentient. This Annamaya Kosha, the Shariram is sentient. Is it really sentient? No. It has a borrowed sentiency. Similarly, this Atma takes up the attributes of the Shariram, and Shariram are subject to destruction. Therefore, the person thinks, I will die. Atma cannot die. But the person says, I come and go. I am not permanent. Taking the attributes of the Shariram, whatever the changes in the changes happening in the Shariram, he attributes to himself the Atma. This type of Adhyasa, this borrowing the attributes of the other, Samsarga Adhyasa. Here, Tadatmya Adhyasa, there is oneness. That the Atma becomes the Kosha. The Atma becomes the Kosha, Tadatmya. Tadatmyat Atma, here the Atma is Satchit Ananda Atma. Atma, which is of the nature Sat Swarupa Atma, Chit Swarupa Atma, Ananda Atma, Tat Tanmayo Bhave, Tat referring to Tat Kosha, becomes as though becomes the kosha. That Atma becomes the kosha. I become the kosha. When I have abhimana with the stula shariram, annamaya kosha, Atma becomes this annamaya kosha. When this Atma, as Atma, when I associate with Pranamaya, Manomaya, Vijnanamaya, I become that kosha. Similarly with an Anandamaya, which is nothing but an Anubhava. Priyamodadi Vrittibihi, Malinasattam, Yat Karna Sharire Vartate. With regard to that, I become Anandamaya kosha. I identify, I associated with that experience of Ananda. Therefore, I become Anandamaya kosha. Therefore, there is tadatmyam, there is aikyam, there is oneness, not real aikyam. This is tadatmyam. Tadatmya bhava. Tadatmyam is nothing but aikyam, but not real aikyam. If real aikyam is there, then we need not do viveka. Why do we need tattva viveka? We cannot separate and understand. There is no atma and atma viveka possible if it is aikyam. So tadatmyam. Tadatmyam is tat atmyam. That is abhed abhimana. That is called tadatmyam. Not different from me. This annamaya kosha not different from me. Tadatmyam. This pranamaya, vijnanamaya, manomaya not different from me. Tadatmyam. That abhimana, abhed abhimana. This abhed abhimana is real or unreal? It is not real. If it is real, then all the time you will be enjoying all the five koshas, all the anubhava of the five koshas will be there. Or put it in another way, the experience of all the three shariram will be there in all the states, but that is not in Sushupti Avastha, where Stula Shariram is not experienced, and Sukshma Shariram also, it has gone to unmanifest condition. Only Karana Shariram is there. So, if all the Sharirams are you, and it is there all the time, what about in Sushupti Avastha, where there is no experience of Stula Sharira, as well as this Buddhi, mind is not there, Sukma Sharira. Therefore, the Tadatmyam is not real Tadatmyam, it is Abhimana, Abheda Abhimana. When you wake up, the Abhimana comes. Abhimana comes with regard to Sukshma as well as Stula Sharira. In Sushupti Avastha, there is no, in Swapna Avastha, there is no Stula Sharira, there is only Sukshma Shariram and Karna Shariram, minus Stula Shariram. There is no Abhimana with the Stula Shariram. Therefore, the Abhimana with the Shariram changes with regard to the different Avastha. From that, it is very clear, it is not real. This Tadatmyam, this Abheda Abhimana is not real. As though becomes real, that is what is samsara is. Therefore, tat koshehi, that is with regard to different koshas, Atma, Tadatmyat, tat tanmayo bhavet. Because of Tadatmyam, that is a hetu, that is a reason, karanam, panchami vibhakti. Tadatmyat, because of Tadatmyam, which is nothing but abheda abhimanat, abhimana, abheda abhimana, non-difference, Tadatmyat, Atma, the Satchit Ananda Atma, tat, again tat referring to tat kosha, koshamayaha bhavet. The same Atma, because of Tadatmya, becomes Andamaya kosha. The same Atma, because of Tadatmya, becomes Pranamaya, becomes Manomaya, becomes Vijnanamaya. And with regard to the Priya Moda, the Vritti, the three different degrees of happiness which are experienced in sleep, Tattanmayo bhavet, Anandamaya koshaha bhavet. Iti, the same Atma becomes various koshas because of the various states of experience. Now let us read the Tika. Karane. The author says Karane is equal to Karana Sharira Bhutayam Avidyayam. So it is nothing but Avidya. Avidya. Karana Sharira is Avidya. Avidya is Ajnanam. Why it is called Avidya, Ajnanam? Because in the Karana Shariram, that is in the Sushupti Avastha, there is no knowledge, there is only Avidya. Even the self-knowledge, Atma Jnana, this ignorance of oneself, complete Ajnanam of oneself. I am, that also is not there. I am so and so not there. So therefore, avidyayam. So karane is equal to avidyayam, avidya avastayam, referring to the sushupti avastha. Sushupti avastayam, avidya avastayam, yat shariram, tat tasya nama eva karana shariram, avidya iti. Karana sharirasya anya nama eva avidya. Karana shariram has got another name which is avidya. Yat malina sattvam asti. That is, malina sattvam is there in that avastha. Malina sattvam, sattva which is malina. In the name, sattva is there, but sattva is malinam. It is sullied, tainted because of tamas. So why it is, we say tamas? Because avidya avastha, karana sharira, bhutayam, avidya avasthayam. Therefore, it refers to sushupti avastha. In sushupti avastha, there are only two gunas, sattva guna, tamo guna. Rajas is not there, no activity possible. Therefore, malina sattvam, when we say, it is sattva plus rajas. Sorry, tamas. Sattva plus tamas. And tamas dominates sattva. Therefore, malina sattvam. Tan modadi vrittivihi. And that is modadi vrittivihi, by the varying degrees of this happiness. That is referring to the states of mind, the vritti of the mind. Priyamoda pramodakyahi, which is, the author has not mentioned Priyamoda Pramoda. The Fatikakara says Priyamoda Pramoda, which we know from the Tattva Bodha. There are three degrees of varying degrees of happiness, which are known by Priyamoda and Pramoda. Ishta Darshana Labha Bhoga Janyahi Sukha Visheshaihi. Ishta Darshana Labha Bhoga. All the 3 degrees of happiness, how it is obtained, it is given. Ishta Darshana, it is Priya. Ishta Labha, it is Moda. Ishta Bhoga Janyaihi. Ishta Bhoga Janya Sukham is Pramoda. Sukha Vishesha, these are all Sukha Vishesha. Sukha Vishesha is, these are different degrees of happiness. Sukha is described in 3 different words. It means 3 degrees of happiness. 3 types of happiness, 3 kinds of pleasure, different degrees of happiness. Sukha Visheshaihi. Sahitam Anandamayaha. This Anandamayaha, it is along with these 3 degrees of happiness. Anandamayakyaha Koshahasya. It is known by the name Anandamayakyaha, called by the name, known by the name Anandamaya Koshahasyaaditi. Nanu Stula Shariradinam Annamayadi Shabda Vachyatve Sakayeva Sahava Yeshaha Purushaha Annarasamayaha iti upakramya Tasmat Vayetasmat Annarasamayat Anyondara Atma Pranamayaha Anyondara Atma Manomayaha Ityadi Shudatvat Atmanaha Annamayadi Shabda Vachyatvam Katamuchyate iti Ashankya. These words referring to the Shruti. What Shruti? Taittiriya Upanishad. Tasmad etasmat annarasamayo tasmad etasmat annarasamayat anyontara atma pranamayaha anyontara atma manomayaha anyontara atma. In the Taittiriya Upanishad, which is famous for this Panchakosha Viveka, there it is said Anyontara Atma Anandamayaha iti. So every time it says Anyontara Atma, that is, you peel the Annamaya Kosha, Atma is inside. Peel the Pranamaya Kosha, Atma is inside. Peel the Pranamaya Kosha, Atma is inside Manomaya Kosha. Manomaya Kosha you peel, it is there in Vijnanamaya Kosha. Peel it again, Anandamaya. So Anandamaya Kosha is Atma. You have to peel that also. That is also a state of experience. So here the question is asked. This is referred to the Shruti, Taittiriya Shruti. So every time it is said Atma, Dehadinam Annamada iti Ashankya, Dehadinam Annadi Vikaratvena Anandamayadi Shabda Vachyatvam Atmanaha tu Tena Koshena Tadatya Abhimanat Ityaha. Why every time? For this, we should, to understand this, we should have the knowledge of Taittiriya Upanishad. Don't worry if we don't know. Simple. That is, Taittiriya Upanishad says, you go one after other kosha, find Atma. So first Taittiriya Upanishad says this Annamaya Kosha is Atma. Then it says Anyontara Atma. Atma is further inside. As though inside, not literally inside. Anyontara Antara. Anyontara Atma. So traveling. How do you travel from Annamaya Kosha to Pranamaya Kosha? Not physically. Cognitively you have to travel. From Annamaya Kosha you travel to the next Kosha, which is Pranamaya Kosha. Is it Atma? No, Atma is further inside, as though inside. Don't travel from Pranamaya Kosha to Manomaya Kosha. Is Manomaya Kosha is Atma? No, the Atma is further inside. You travel from Manomaya Kosha to Vijnanamaya Kosha. Is Vijnanamaya Kosha Atma? No, again you travel further. So like that traveling is mentioned, but every point he says inside, inside. Therefore, there is a possibility to take the Kosha to be Atma. That is what here the Tikakara says. That is called Atma because of Tadatmyam. Abeda Abhimanat. Tena tena koshena tadatmya abhimanat atma iti aha. It is called Atma because of the abhimana. At different levels, the koshas are called Annamaya Kosha, Pranamaya Kosha, Manomaya Kosha, Vijnanamaya Kosha, Anandamaya Kosha. These get the name Atma. But it is not Atma. What Atma is free from all this limitation. These koshas are limited. But Upanishad says, and it says further, Anyontara Atma. Atma is different from that. Atma is different from that. At every stage it stays. Therefore, we have to travel cognitively from Annamaya Kosha down to Anandamaya Kosha. Is Anandamaya Kosha Atma? That is also Tadatmyam only. That is also Abhimana only. That is not Atma. Anyontara Atma. Again, you have to further travel cognitively to understand what Atma is. That is what the Taittiriya Shruti says. So, the Purva Pakshi here, Nanu, the Purva Pakshi, the opponent, asks question. Every time you say that Kosha is Atma, then if it is Atma, then Atma undergoes Vikara, Atma undergoes changes. If Atma undergoes changes, then how can be Atma? The question is asked. That's what he says. Deghadinam Annadi Vikarattvena Annamayadi Shabda Vachyatvam Atmanaha to Tena Tena Koshena Tadatmya Abhimanat Aha. With regard to the each Shariram, Deghadinam Vikarattvena, the changes of Degha, etc., they are called by the name Annamaya, etc. Annamayadi Shabda Vachyatvam Atmanaha. Atma as the name of Annamaya Kosha, Pranamaya Kosha, etc. with regard to the Abhimana with respective Shariram. That's what I said. Annamaya Kosha is Atma, but Atma is not Annamaya Kosha. Travel cognitively further. Pranamaya Kosha. Then Pranamaya Kosha is Atma, but Atma is not Pranamaya Kosha. Again, further travel. So, by cognitive travel, you arrive at Atma, which is free from koshas, which is free from any type of cover. So that is why the author has used the word Tadatmyam, Tadatmya Adhyasa, Tat Tat Iti. Atma, Pratyekatma Tat Tat Koshaihi. Pratyek Atma is the Atma which is Pratyek, which is as Antaryami, which is inside. Again, this Pratyek, the word, it is confusing. If Atma is inside, is it not outside? The question may come. The Pratyek is only to show that Brahma, Sachit Ananda Brahma, which is Jagat Karanam, the same Brahma is alone, this Atma, which is free from all attributes, which is Shuddha Chaitanyam. That's called Pratyek. Because it is obtained in the Shariram, it is called Pratyek. Not that it is obtained, you have to peel one Shariram and go inside the Shariram and find the Atma sitting inside the Anandamaya Kosha. Not like that. That is not the word Pratyek. This is what some people, they understand Pratyek is. Like onion, you have to peel the koshas one by one. Literally, I'm saying this is what people understand. You have to peel. So, to know Atma, you have to peel this Shariram, Annamaya Shariram. How do you peel this? Peeling is you have to give up. Die. After death, where is moksha possible? Moksha is not possible. So therefore, this is only a cognitive travel. It is in terms of understanding. It's called removing, peeling. The peeling is also only in terms of understanding. Removing the abhimana. Because we have aveda abhimana with the shariram, we have to bring in veda abhimana. This is different. Atma is different from all this kosha. And what is obtained as Shuddha Chaitanyam in the shariram, that is called pratyekatma. That pratyekatma, tat koshehi, tena koshena, with regard to each kosha, saha tadatmyat, abed abhimanat, tadatmiti abed abhimanat. Tadatmyam is abhimana. Abhimana of what? Abed abhimana, oneness. Tat mayaha, tat koshamayaha bhavati, tat koshamayaha syat. Iti koshamayaha, kosha, tattan koshamayo syat, koshamayaha syat, tattan koshamayaha syat. Vyavahara kale annamayadi kosha pradhanyat in the vyavahara, in the empirical world, in the vyavahara kala, vyavahara in the transactory world, vyavahara kale, annamayadi kosha pradhanya, because of the dominance of the annamaya kosha, vyavahara is through annamaya kosha. Through only physical body you interact. Therefore, vyavahara kale, annamayadi kosha pradhanyat, annamayadi shabda vachyaha ityartaha. In the transactory world, because of the dominance of annamaya kosha, therefore this annamayadi shabda vachyaha ityartaha. Atma is called annamaya kosha because of the tadatmyam, because this annamaya kosha is dominant in the vyavahara, in the empirical world. Tu shabda atmanah koshebhyah vailakshanya dyotanartaha. In the shloka, tu is tat koshehi, tu, whereas tu is atma is not any of this. Tu is to show the vilakshanam, the distinction. Koshebhyah vailakshanyam. Atma is vilakshana, it is distinct, it is different from this pancha kosha. Tu shabdaha. Atmanaha koshebhyaha, from the Atma, this kosha, from the koshas is Atma, koshebhyaha atmanaha vailakshanyam. From the koshas, this Atma is different. Jyotanartaha, to convey that, tu shabda is used by the author in this shloka. Tat koshehi tu, tadatmyat atma tattanmayo bhavet. Iti. So the gist is, this Atma is Atma because of tadatmyam, as though becomes that kosha, as though becomes. That Iva Shabda is very important. Iva, everything is Iva. The whole teaching is Iva only. The whole teaching is not Iva means, not the teaching is Iva. Atma Iva. This all these are Iva, as though, Atma as though, because Atma, real Atma, this Atma as such cannot undergo any change, any modification to become that. Tanmayo bhavet. It cannot become that. So the real Sachit Ananda Atma cannot undergo any change, any modification. Then what has undergone modification and becomes these? This cannot be real. That is mithya. That is what we say. It is mithya. So therefore, tadatmyam is that abheda abhimanam is mithya abhimanam. It is not real abhimanam. If it is real abhimanam, then you cannot remove it. It is tadatmya abhimanam. It is mithya abhimanam. So tadatmyam is equal to abheda abhimanam, and that abheda abhimanam is mithya abhimanam. So therefore, from that it is very clear, Atma is distinct from these koshas. The koshas are enjoyed by you, but you are not any of these koshas. So therefore, you are distinct from all the 5 koshas. This is what Viveka Prakaranam. This is a Viveka. Because we are strongly associated with this kosha, take ourselves to be the karta bhokta, the kartrutvam is associated with Vijnanamaya kosha, and bhoktrutvam, aham karta bhokta is with regard to Anandamaya kosha. So therefore, this kartrutvam, bhoktrutvam attributed to Atma is not real. It is mithya. It is mithya abhiman. Mithyatva abhimanam. So Atma is free from these koshas. And that has to be arrived by the viveka. How do you arrive at the viveka that Atma is distinct from that? For that, we should know what are these kosha. This kosha, the knowledge of the kosha, and the knowledge of Atma, which is referred to by the word Samvita by the author, which already he had established. He had done the homework, groundwork he had done. Samvita is Sat, Chit, Ananda Atma, which is Vilakshanam, which is different, Vilakshanaha, from this kosha, which are Mithya, Iti. The next shloka, the author is going to present by a technique. It's called Anvaya Vyatireka, invariable concomitance. That is invariable concomitance. Otherwise, you can call inclusion, exclusion. By the method of inclusion, exclusion, the author is going to do the analysis. Having explained what are these koshas as well as the Atma, that is Atma, Anatma, both are presented. Now he is going to distinct Atma from Anatma. That is the Viveka, that is going to the topic. The next shloka starts, we will see in the next class. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.
धन्यवाद
धन्यवाद शर्मा।
धन्यवाद धन्यवाद गुरुजी
धन्यवाद शरण जी।
धन्यवादः।